Cool. So that was a very unexpected, well, at least from my end, very unexpected result in that game. Did not expect us to win by what was it? What was it? 34-14? Was that the final?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, did not think that was going to happen. And when you look at the box score, I was looking at it before we got on here. You wouldn't really know that we won by that much based on the total yards. I mean, they outplayed us in the total yards department. Um, but I mean, our defense just had some key turnovers at key points in the game, and I think that's ultimately why we won this game.
Yeah, we really flipped the script from what was going on in that 3 game losing streak. And the biggest thing, and it's something Carroll always preached about, is winning the turnover battle, especially when you can win it decisively with the 3-0 turnover margin that we had in this game. I think we were -4 or -5 during that 3 game skid. And that's probably the biggest reason why we dropped those games in the first place. So kind of funny. I predicted us to get 34 points. So we showed up like I expected, but I was shocked at how bad the Falcons played today, only getting 14 points against a defense that had mightily struggled for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, credit where it's due. I feel like our defense today, we gave up a lot of yards, especially in the run game between the 20s. But once the Falcons got into the red zone and once the Falcons were in third downs, granted, we gave up, 8 out of 15 in third downs, but that's where most of our sacks came from. And that's where a couple of our turnovers came from as well. So those few situations in the game that really oftentimes ends up deciding who wins and who loses, the defense was awesome today. And I think it bears being stated that this team is undefeated when Byron Murphy takes the field. It's just a fact.
Yeah, I know. And also looking at the time of possession, we didn't they had what was it, 31 minutes to our 28:52. Like
Yeah.
so again, it was like I the way I would describe the way the defense played today is like they were the epitome of a bend but don't break.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
because the Falcons just would get so close and then walk away with nothing. I mean, they didn't really even punt that many times in the game.
No, only
Um,
3 punts.
so yeah, I was just like you were saying about the way the Falcons played. It seemed like they just came out flat and were never able to find a rhythm against us. In it was which was weird because Bijan Robinson was having a hell of a game on the ground. Um,
He was frustrating to play against today for sure. I think I said during the game, like, what is this guy covered in Crisco? Like, he did not go down from first contact, like, I think a single play today. So Bijan, he looked like the real deal today. Algier had a couple of nice runs too, but for the most part in the second half, I think we held the Falcons rushing attack to like 30 yards total in the second
mhm.
half, I want to say something along the lines of that. So a lot of their damage came in the first half. And also, we came out of halftime with a 10-point lead, only giving up 7 points. So I know we gave up a ton of yards today, and the Falcons had a missed field goal, but it's wild that you step back and look at the box score and then see that the Falcons only got 14 points out of it. That's
Mhm.
kind of insane.
Yeah, I know. That just it really it just overall felt like a weird game because of how badly we beat them. It didn't feel like
It didn't feel like a
that.
blowout. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I
it sort of did once we had the awesome Boye Mafe strip sack, Derek Hall fumble recovery touchdown. Amazing. You had Witherspoon coming out with a key block on a guy like
yeah, that
twice
block
his
was
weight.
awesome.
Also, someone mentioned this on the internet. That play involved all Russell Wilson trade members. You had Witherspoon, Mafe, and Hall all in on that play. Just kind of funny. Uh,
Which speaking of Russell Wilson, the game's about to start and he's starting tonight.
I'm excited to watch that. I'm
So you
curious
should
to
come back
see.
over later if
Perhaps we'll
or
see.
something. Or yeah, whatever. But
Um,
sorry, what were you saying about the Russell
oh,
Wilson?
it's funny that everyone involved with that Derek Hall touchdown were Russell Wilson trade pieces. you know.
Yeah, pretty awesome. And it's really cool. I'm so happy that Derek Hall is kind of blossoming into a valuable asset because he really was kind of in no man's land all year last year, and he's really turned it around. And I'm happy to see the progression he's made over the past few games.
It's weird how both those guys, Hall and Mafe, they've had like the same career trajectory where year
Mm-hmm.
one, they're basically, a nobody. And then year two, they're immediately like 10 times better. Like without exaggeration, I think Derek Hall has like 6 sacks on the season now through 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome stuff from him. I was expecting him to maybe get 6 sacks on like the whole season. So
Well,
uh
and
sorry, go
another
ahead.
guy, oh, I was just going to say, and another guy that impressed me today on the defense was a guy's name I hadn't even heard before today, and that's my man, Job.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was on our team. And with all the injuries in the secondary, like you look at the on paper matchup where our secondary is missing everybody but Julian Love and Witherspoon essentially on the starters versus someone as talented on the Falcons as like Kyle Pitts and Drake London. Darnell Mooney's been having a good season. Bijan also a receiving threat, and even Ray McLeod. He did get wide open today, and Kirk just missed him. Kirk had a very bad day throwing.
Yeah.
Also,
He looked really bad today. He kind of like, and again, Gino had a pretty good game today. But
efficient.
yeah, that just goes to show you, like just last week, Gino had a horrible game, comes out, plays well enough for us to win, but Kirk just played. He just had such a horrible game that he didn't give the Falcons even a little bit of a chance to win. And yeah, the NFL is just a week to week parody, it seems.
Yeah, and it's just funny how things change so much week to week. I mean, we got cooked by Daniel Jones and then Kirk Cousins after he throws for like 500 yards in a game a couple of weeks ago, like can barely crack 230 on 35 attempts today. It's just funny. It's
Well,
it's it's just weird how inconsistent this league is.
and like look at Brock Purdy today. He had a horrible game. I think he had 3 picks
He did, yeah.
and like more than just his interceptions, like a lot of his overthrows were like some of the worst throws I've seen him make. It was
It was a
like,
really weirdly inaccurate day for him for sure.
and it's not like it, I mean, it wasn't like it was raining or anything. He was just missing guys. Yeah, it was an odd sight to see from Brock. So
For sure, but it was a very happy sight to see as a Seahawks fan because even with our horrible 3 game losing streak, including losing to the 49ers, we're back at top of the NFC West, baby. And I mean, we don't have an easy schedule, but we're in total control of this thing, even with those losses. As long as we win about like 70% of our remaining games, we might win this division. It's that simple.
it's really funny how this team like keeps tricking me every week as far as the narrative on what this season is going to play out to be, because 3 weeks ago I thought, oh wow, we are going to dominate maybe and win the division and maybe have a high seed. And now uh, after that losing skid, I was like, maybe we're going to win a couple more games. And now I'm back to thinking, well, we just kind of soundly beat the Falcons. I guess we'll just see how this plays out, because we seem to have a higher ceiling than I thought, but the floor could be pretty low too. So who knows?
Uh, yeah, I agree. And real quick before we move on too much, I want to give a shout out to Michael Gerald today, filling in as the 4th string right tackle. I thought he played a great game, man. He had a key block on the first Kenneth Walker touchdown. Um, he held up in pass protection. He did have a false start and allowed a sack, but the I didn't think there was a drop off from Stone to him at all. I thought if anything, maybe it was a little better. And for a guy that was playing Division 2, Division 3 football at some school called Finlay, that no one has ever heard of prior to him being drafted, it's amazing. It's actually amazing that he can come in here that raw and go against a guy like Matthew Judon and like stand him up several times in this game. Really impressed by him. I thought Kenneth Walker, also happy 24th birthday, Kenneth Walker. Um, he was awesome today. He should have had 3 touchdowns, and that touchdown catch he had was seriously like sweet. Like that was a really good catch.
Yeah, and speaking of good catches, we finally DK must have watched the last episode, and he might be pissed at us because he went up for those contested balls today, and I really like that effort he put into the JSN
Yeah,
pass there. That could have been ugly, but
yeah, it was.
thankfully because he went up for it, kind of gave the defenders no shot really. And hats off to DK for using that big frame. It's about time.
For sure. And, it's kind of a quiet day from JSN, but he's got arguably the highlight of the day with that throw. It wasn't a good throw, but it was a completion, and that's all that matters. And DK went up for that. That was sweet.
Yeah.
Um,
He also had a
speaking,
nice touchdown catch too, and that was no gimme either. I think he got popped
oh,
pretty good after the catch he made.
yeah,
So
in situationally there, we're up 10-7. There's like 18 seconds left or whatever it was, and we're about 30 yards out. And I'm kind of just thinking like, let's throw a quick out to the sideline and kick the field goal. And they went for the touchdown, and that throw and catch was seriously special because that thing had to be a laser to get into that window from that depth. And it was. DK grabs it, absorbs a big hit, and that kind of won, like that kind of ended the game right there. Even if we didn't score at all the rest of the game, we still would have won at that point because we had 17.
mm-hmm.
So just really, really special play there. That's the kind of stuff with this team. Like, yes, there's flaws with this team, but when you can run a 2-minute drill like that, it reminds me of the Super Bowl against the Patriots. This is not a game you like to remember, but the Seahawks got basically dominated in that first half, but they were able to run the 2-minute drill so well that they made
Mm-hmm.
it a tie 14-14 game. And like that's it seriously is it can't be overstated how important just those situations are in the NFL. And when you have a quarterback like Geno and a receiving core with DK, Tyler, Noah Fant had a good day, and JSN, like that can win you games where you probably shouldn't win them. And I mean, I think we should have won today. We soundly beat the Falcons, had 2 interceptions. Kobe
Mm-hmm.
Bryant finally got an interception that didn't get overturned by penalty. Um, that's just I think that was a very I like how that play could develop this team throughout the season, if that makes sense. I think it bodes really well that we have that in our bag.
Yeah, and I don't know if we talked about this too much yet, but God, Byron Murphy, he is proving to be much more of an anchor on that defensive front than I thought he was. Because I mean, I know they had a lot of rushing yards today, but what were you saying in the second half? We held them to what, like, was it 30 or
Something like
something of
that.
those sorts? So
It was way. I mean, most of the damage the Falcons did was in the first half. And the good thing is, for all the big leaky plays we had, we didn't let them score on it, and then they had to take like a bunch more plays to get into scoring position. But yeah, I mean, Byron Murphy, he's not like lighting up the stat sheet, but it is obvious the impact he makes on this team when he's out there, because Leonard Williams immediately gets free again and gets a sack. You had Draymond Jones showing up today and looking like, because when he doesn't have to play out of position and play edge, he's a lot more impactful as a true defensive end. So
mhm.
it enables our defense to be kind of the best version of itself, and it shows. I think the biggest lesson I've learned from this season so far is that your front seven can make up for secondary deficiencies and not the other way around. Because when we had all those defensive linemen out during that skid, it was like we're the worst defense you've ever. The line is healthy and your linebackers are healthy, you hold the team to 14 points on the road. So yeah, just really
Well,
awesome to see him back in this game. Byron Murphy, that is.
yeah, sorry. For some reason, your
There,
audio and your camera is not syncing up now for some reason.
Oh, well,
Huh.
that's all right. Got most of my thoughts off.
Yeah, yeah, because you'll like talk and then it'll be quiet and then your audio will happen. It's weird.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. Unfortunate.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really have too much more to say. Other than I was shocked to see us play like we did, and hopefully, who's our next opponent? The Rams.
We got the Bills at home,
Oh,
and I will be
yikes.
at that game.
Oh, you will.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like I've really hated the way we've played at home the last couple of years for the most part, but I think it's possible that we've maybe turned a corner with this latest performance. So yeah, I think we're going to be underdogs for that game, but I usually like our odds better in situations like that than when we're playing a team like the Giants and we don't take them seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess I don't have too much more to say on this pod, especially with the this thing acting up and being all weird. I'm wondering if when I end the recording, it'll sort itself out, or I'll have to mess with it.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a good endorsement of the Zoom platform, but we we carry on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Unless you wanted to add anything more.
No, not really. I just hope our division keeps losing and we can keep trucking along here because we haven't won the division in a while, and I want it this season because it's possible. It looks like it is doable. I want to see it happen.
Yeah, agreed. Well, we'll have to check in next week, and we'll be able to talk about how Russ played because he's playing right now, and kind of want to go watch that. So,
Yeah, I do too.
all right. Well,
So thanks for listening, everybody. Sorry, go ahead. This
oh
audio is
no,
all
I was
fuzzy.
just gonna say that too, but you started, so yeah, we'll just end it there. We'll see you guys next time.
All right. See you later.